Oh, we like that. 1-0 to the Arsenal, then 2-0 to the Arsenal. Game over. Lovely stuff. Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Hope you're doing good. Hope you are doing well. Make sure that you're dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. A dominant performance from start to finish, which is what we have been asking, demanding, yearning for in this Arsenal team, is a good display from start to finish. All the rhetorics around sides below a certain position in the table, the rhetorics around clubs that we're beating who then sacked their managers, they're gone. We move past them because Arsenal have beaten a West Ham side that are looking very good, a West Ham side that have beaten Liverpool and Chelsea already this season. And they've done it really stylishly as well. A fantastic display. Did not let the Aubameyang controversy affect them in any way, shape, or form. Dominant display, as I say, from start to finish. That is what we want to see. That is what we want to see. I'm just very, very happy. And you know what's really enjoyable is that when you want Arsenal to win the next game and they put on that performance, and I can enjoy it as an Arsenal fan. I can enjoy Arsenal winning a game of football quite like that, which is absolutely glorious. This is the Raw Reaction Show in which we get plenty of your thoughts and feelings in the comments section. Let's see what you guys are saying. Rand says, good performance, but this Arteta Martinelli incident annoys me. Arteta was very rude, rancid. Move on, mate. Because, I mean, all that Arteta wanted was his player to get on the pitch. It was complete emotion. I wouldn't read too much into that. Alexandra Lawson says, I'm so surprised that we didn't see the old pattern that we used to have with Xhaka and Tierney playing together. We've been overly dominant on the left flank with those two, but what we saw was a very, very balanced game, a very balanced attack in which Arsenal were threatening from all positions on the pitch. Very, very impressive indeed. John G. Oh, yes, it does indeed feel good. Huge result, says Tom. Where are the Arteta haters, says Daniel Robert. Colin says, best performance so far this season. Mr. Ginger Gooner, hi, Tom. That will do, lads. It certainly will. Chips and Pieces, brilliant result. Loved how the team worked together. George Davies says, Christ, that was an interest. Tom, love that. It was just a fantastic game. I think we've seen a performance there that we can use as a blueprint moving forwards. We've got some huge games coming up. The away match against Leeds is now an absolute, and as it was, always an absolute must win. And we need to go into that game after they've been battered by Man City and batter them again. Our players coming off the bench, Smith Rowe, who has been frustrated with the lack of game time. Kieran Tierney, frustrated with the lack of game time. Both of them brilliant in their displays in the game today. Alexandra Lacazette, captain's performance. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I hope you're looking on and watching that display and thinking, if only I'd have performed like that as a captain in these recent fixtures. Respect for everything he's done in the past, but this season, I'm sorry, his performances haven't been good enough, and Lacazette came in and was absolutely brilliant. Audriel says, let's talk about the penalties. Yeah, we can't score a pen to save our lives. We just can't. I know I've just bigged up Lacazette. To be honest, it was a very good save from Fabianski, but we really need to score some penalties. Just smash them down the middle. Just high and in the middle of the goal. That's what I want to see. Toby says, I kept quiet about Ødegaard all season because I didn't think he was good enough. Turns out my opinion wasn't good enough. Toby, I'm print screening this. That's a brilliant comment. Ødegaard is something special. His touches are just sublime. The layoffs, the creation. He did again deserved assists that did not fall to him because I don't know what it is, but the assists were there to be had, and he laid opportunities on a plate. His touch is so good. We turned Antonio into a right back in the first half. Daniel Roberts says, fantastic win, but let's be real for 1 second. Never a pen or a red card, but I don't really care. I agree. It's never a penalty. It just isn't. It's just not a penalty. It's not a clear and obvious error. So I kind of get the argument that you can't really overturn it. But I'd be fuming if that was against us. And to see a second yellow given for it as well, West Ham fans will be very hard done by. But even then, they didn't deserve to win the game. They didn't deserve anything from the game. Arsenal deserved absolutely everything from that fixture. So even though you can point to the penalty and say that Arsenal were fortunate in that sense, West Ham didn't deserve anything from the game. They didn't offer anything in the game. Arsenal completely suffocated them, bar one chance, which Ødegaard unfortunately gave to Bowen. But besides that, a really solid performance. Willie Moyes, of all the surnames, Willie, who would have thought after the first 3 games of the season that we're now our 4th in the league? At what point are you going to start seeing people say, calm down, look at all the teams with games in hand over us? I don't care. Sit and enjoy the fact we're 4th. Enjoy that. We just beat West Ham, one of our key rivals, if we want to get into the top 4. I said this after, I think it was the Everton loss, how quickly things change. After the Everton loss, we were 7th in the league. And I said in two games prior to that, we were 1 point off 4th. And I said that 2 games after this, we could be sitting in 4th. And lo and behold, here we are, sitting in 4th, 2 games after the Everton loss. It's a hugely, hugely competitive season. And every single game is important. And you can't afford to drop points if you want to be in this run for the top 4. Arsenal have been fortunate that the other teams around us, like West Ham, have dropped points. They're only got collected, I think, 1 point in the last 2 games now. Draw against Burnley, of course. We need to take advantage. We've got a game against Leeds, must win. Game away at Norwich that Man United struggled to get a victory at, must win. And of course, we've got Manchester City on New Year's Day, which I don't think any of us are expecting to get a win, maybe not even a draw, but hopefully we can give them a game. That's what we want to see. And we want to see some momentum built up going into that City game, but expectations are obviously going to be on the floor. Alex says, maybe we're giving him the armband and we can convince Laka to sign a new deal. We need him. O'Malley says, my nose is bleeding. Haven't been this high up the table in a while. Marshall says, Laka made Aubameyang look simple in the game. Ritian says, that was an awesome performance. Arsenal games are never boring. So much happened in the second half. Laka, Saka, Gabby, and the whole defense was flawless. Noah Wheeler says, top 4, top 4, top 4. Johan says, we're playing at home, damn it. We need decisions our way. We do indeed. Alex says, there is something special about this team, Tom. 11 warriors out there. That is the thing you've got to say. Have your reservations and your criticisms of the manager, but Edu has constructed, along with Arteta, in fairness, quite some squad of a really exciting, likeable team. Ben White and Gabriel really are something. The fact that there is so much, I say so much, the fact there are individuals out there that give Ben White so much stick, and he's so calm and he's so consistent playing out from the back with such ease and confidence, and yet some people dare to use his surname in some derogatory fashion. Ashamed of yourselves. Ashamed of yourselves, you absolute losers. Ruben James says, West Ham have beaten Liverpool, City and Chelsea. I don't think they beat City, did they? I think they lost to City, but they gave them a good game away from home. Although, did they beat them in the Cup? Actually, you might be right. I think maybe they knocked them out of the League Cup, didn't they? And we are above them. People need to realise that. We are aiming for top 4. Then to be a flat track bully is excellent. Couldn't care less against the top 3. I still care about how we perform against the top 3, but those games aren't going to define our season. These games against sides like West Ham are going to define our season. Richie Ann says, Ødegaard was godly in the game once again. I tell you, he could be our future captain. Without a shadow of a doubt, this guy presses. The press, the press. The press was awesome. Did anyone else notice how good we pressed in this fixture? Because it was utterly excellent. Consistent, full of energy, didn't ever give up, continued in the second half, continued after we scored. We just played so well. We just played so well. Which, when you consider the fact that this is the same team that played against Southampton, that's impressive that they can do that after that amount of games. And there was concern that without European football, maybe when we come to these midweek fixtures, we would struggle. But that really did display the hell of fitness that this team have got. Really, really, really impressive. Scape says, I've noticed Tierney is slamming less crosses into the box and is cutting back a lot more. He is, but even the crosses that are going into the box are dangerous. Really dangerous. Ishby says, sometimes you have to take it because when we should have had one against Harry Maguire and Tomiyasu, we didn't get it. 2-0 to the Arsenal. Gigson says, Laka won so many tackles. Ishby says, P.S. I'm firmly in support of Mikel. Fair play to you, mate. Rathaveri says, when Ødegaard went off, I think we struggled for a few minutes, which just shows how his control of the ball in the midfield is needed. GG, boys. Sam Chester says, I'm Arteta out, but I might change my mind if this keeps up. I'm a sandal. Look, I think that everyone's entitled to their view on the manager as long as you're respectful, and I've maintained that view always. I'm still on the fence. I said I would judge at Christmas. it maybe need to be delayed because I think there's so many questions that need to be answered still about this side. But this game answered plenty of them. It's now going to be about translating what we saw today into that Leeds game away from home. Huge, huge fixture that we need to win next season. Cookie Monster says, Emil Smith-Rowe goal scoring ability has just come from nowhere this season. He is brilliant. Kamal says, great performance. Keep it up, lads. Tulip says, top 4, baby. I'm happy. I was wrong about the 2-2. Bar Zuma, this was West Ham United that defended against Chelsea. Proud of the performance. Emil Smith-Rowe turning up the heat this season. Top scorer, 7 goals now for Emil Smith-Rowe. Oh, just that clip. Smith-Rowe over Pepe. Oh, he's never going to score, is he? 7 goals this season. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely love to see it. JH says, yeah, Tom, decent win. Nervy at times. Happy with the youngsters. What's a fame? It had everything, says Icro. What a game, I'm sure you mean. Magambo says, I'll take her out forever. I don't flip-flop like our fans. Magambo, I mean, if that's the way that you're sitting, see you later. John Daly says, we're massive. Tex Guna says, every game is difficult in the EPL. Need to stop overreacting after losses and wins. Need to ride the wave and hope there are more positives than negatives. Maggi says, has the Emirates become a fortress? Arsenal, I think, have now taken more points at home than any other team in the Premier League this season. We've got a big away game coming next and the following game against Norwich. We need to see improvement in the away form. That's what we need to take advantage of. Fingers crossed we can. Gary Griffin says, the pressing Gabriel and Ben White was awesome. Tomiyasu hardly ever loses a header. Erdegaard class. Masuaku, Masuaku, I think his name is, on toast from Saka Martinelli. I just love him. I'm buzzing. Merry Crimbo. Pedro says, oi, 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 don't spoil it. I've not seen it yet. I think you've come to the wrong place if you were looking to avoid the scoreline, Pedro. Zander says 5 clean sheets in a row at home since 2017. Kim B, impressed with White today. He has not been his biggest fan. He's backing off and at times rashness, but today he was outstanding. Ed says, this is the easiest to like Arsenal side in years. Fun one today. They were electric. Marcus says, great to see us get physical and much better going forwards. Erdegaard was man of the match when he came off. Good win, Tom. I said 2-0. You did indeed, Harvey. I was a little bit more nervy and said 2-1, but love the confidence. Fantastic performance. Great to see. Ashwin Watkins says, brilliant performance. Chris Moss says, Erdegaard is a massively awesome. TP was better for once as well. Thomas Partey probably had his best performance in the last... probably this season, to be fair. It was probably Thomas Partey's best. He still did lose it a couple of times, but actually I think he was really calm for most of the game and his passing was solid. Recoveries were good. I thought he had a good game. Alex Mokan says, our backline looks rugged and determined. That is a Champions League defence. Chris Moss says, where those Erdegaard haters again? And Mikel Arteta making great calls once again as well. Omar Dino says, asking for a friend. Has Arteta lost the dressing room? What do you think? What do you think? O'Malley says, I love how Emil came on and just picked up where he left off, just said, hold my beer, and slammed it in the corner. Tex Gunnar says, Laka looks like he didn't tire as much as the previous games. Maybe he is finding a new level of fitness. Luke Williams says, played amazing tonight, but why, oh why can't we score penalties? I can't tell you, Luke. They need to get more practice in them. I mean, I genuinely would be looking to give it to someone else at this point. I know Laka's never missed one. But I know, I just feel like we need to invest in a new long-term penalty taker. I'm trying to think who's really good with their placement. I feel like Granit Xhaka would be a good penalty taker. I know he's not the most well-liked of people. Maybe Kieran Tierney would be a good penalty taker. We just need someone who's really, maybe Tomiyasu could take a pen. I want to see some different penalty takers in the team. Adian, hello, Tom. What a good game. Absolutely, mate. Spot on. Kim B says, what on earth was the free kick Souček got in the first half? Could have been a goal after Fornell's attempt. Terrible ref. I thought, the refereeing was one of the worst I've seen this season. It was absolutely dreadful. Absolutely awful officiating of one of these games. Genuine one of the worst I've seen so far. Let's scroll down. I know I'm not getting a lot of your recent comments. Let's scroll down a bit more. Kim B says, although I thought Xhaka was all right, I really hope we get to see Sambi on Sunday. Granit truly takes far too many touches at times. I can't believe how he gets caught out at times. Loss of concentration. Look, we need to rotate. We've got a lot of games coming out. I would like to see Lokonga back in as well. Chris says, honestly, everyone looked good except for Xhaka. I don't think that Xhaka was bad. I think he was just kind of, he was eclipsed by plenty of the other solid performances in the team. Don White says, we need Laka more than Aubameyang. Laka have more connection with the kids on the pitch. Extend Laka's contract. Marshall says, Tom, do you reckon Aubameyang will play for Arsenal again? We have no need to play him right now, that's for sure. If it says, Tom, I'm so excited. What a game. And Emil Smith-Rowe, my guy. I tell you what, Aubameyang will be fuming. Aubameyang will not be happy. You just get that feeling. I get that sense about him that he's not gonna have enjoyed the fact that Arsenal won brilliantly without him there. I just get that feeling that he won't be. Nat Nail says, what do you think about what Saka was doing to Kufau? It was criminal. Yeah, he ruined him. Absolutely ruined him at times. Did anyone else spot the Gabriel Martinelli nutmeg as well? The little drag back and push through the legs. Unbelievably good bit of skill from him. He is very rash. He is very exuberant rather. And I feel like he should have been taken off a bit sooner, because there was a time when he was on a yellow card. I thought he was going to get sent off because there was a little bit of rashness in this game. But even then, tracking back and tackling, Martinelli's so good at that. So good at that. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Marcus says, what happened to old Arsenal? If you are fouled, down, take the penalty. Laka, usually brilliant. Definitely so. Christopher Fung says, Tom, that was fun, wasn't it? Just a little bit, mate. Just slightly. Just a little bit of fun was had in that game. Ramsdale for penalty taker says Noah Wheeler. I hear that Haaland takes good penalties, says Creepy Gaming. I mean, he does. Is that enough of a reason to sign him? I mean, if you need that to convince you to sign Haaland, I don't know what to tell you. But I get where your joke's coming from. Jason says, Ramsdale for penalties going forward. Can you imagine his celebrations after scoring if he scores? If we don't score, we're in a little bit of trouble if it's a Ramsdale on the spot kicks. Alan says, Smith-Rowe's goal celebrations are more subdued now. Scoring is standard business. I still think he went pretty mad. And you got to love the passion. Absolutely. I don't think Granit was horrible. I really don't know where this viewpoint's coming from. I don't think it was horrible. I thought he was fine. A lot of his passes were solid. He actually passed very directly through the midfield at times, which is something he hasn't done. He's been far too one-dimensional with the way in which he passes out to Kieran Tierney. He still did a lot of those passes to Tierney, but actually, if you watch that game back, I guarantee you, when you watch Xhaka, a lot of his passes through the middle of the game was really good. Tahib says, with hindsight, it was probably a good thing we went in 0-0. It meant we had to keep playing like we did in the first half and not sit back. And that's probably a good point, Tahib. It's going to be interesting if we go against Leeds and we get that lead in the first half, if we sit back or not. One to keep an eye on going forwards. Heron's Gaming says, Aubameyang seems like the kind of guy that would be annoyed when Martinelli slotted Hope in his chance. Jamie says, where is the Xhaka slander coming from? I think he allows all the other players to express themselves, and he makes every other player look better. Manny says, Odegaard didn't look happy when Emil Smith-Rowe scored. He didn't. You're right. I noticed that. I don't know if that was just because of the timing of when they showed the Arteta reaction. But he didn't look too happy, did he? I hope that's not something that we have to be concerned about. I'm sure that it isn't. He's come off the pitch. He's seen his substitute come on and score. Look, Smith-Rowe and Odegaard, Martinelli and Saka could all be playing in a team one day. If we can manage to somehow work out how a 4-3-3 can work in this team, they could all play. Maybe it's something that we can try against Leeds or against Norwich. We'll have to wait and see. If it says the Gabriel played like the prime Brazilians today, very impressive. Never been this gassed for a while. We've got a brand new member in the house, Satya Brat. Thank you for continuing on in supporting the crew. If you haven't already joined our Discord server, there'll be a new link in the community tab. But thank you and welcome to the family. Members in the chat box, be sure to welcome our new member to the TGT crew. Vuk says, Tom, what do you think about Mikel Arteta's tactics? I mean, if that's what we're going to see every single game, Vuk, I'm going to be delighted. Full tilt, full time, dominant, great passing, great pressing, great chance creation, a solid, clear style that we wanted to press, win the ball high up, get the ball into those wide areas, drag those passes back, but also play very direct through the middle of the pitch at times. You could also tell the reluctance. And it was really interesting listening back to Tomiyasu's interview where he talked about how how Ben White doesn't really pass to him and the reasons as to why. And I watched out for that during the game, and he's right. It is very rare that you see Ben White pass to Tomiyasu. Less so with Gabriel and Tierney, because Tierney's very good at going forwards. But actually, when you watch Ben White and Gabriel, they pass between themselves frequently. They wait for those openings to appear, and then they play very direct passes into the central midfield. And it works. And it's something that I'm hoping that we can continue to excel with. I thought that was fantastic. Dan Roberts says 720 of you watching. In fact, there's over 740 of you now. Only 120 likes. Come on, guys. Drop the like button. Let's get this up to 300 likes if we can. If you thought that Emile Smith-Rowe needs to continue in the Arsenal first team, and if you think Martinelli is the greatest thing since sliced bread, then hit a press on that thumbs up. Moabi says Laka and Martinelli bossed it tonight. Ed says, love the intensity of the first half. We pressed well, closed down, and matched their physicality. Won back more balls than almost any other game, rather, in recent history. Amir says, where are the Arteta owls? Big win, Tom. Congrats. Luke says, Xhaka with Partey definitely worked. I think Partey helped Xhaka, and Xhaka helps Partey. Satya Brat says, very happy we didn't take our foot off the gas like in previous games. Sam Trester says, West Ham don't have a game in hand on us, and they have been miles better than United and Spurs. I'm not worried. Jonathan says, all we need is more confidence in away games, and we have a really good chance of finishing in the top four. Mohammed Khan says, thought Rice was great today. It's crazy how consistently good he is. I agree with you. I thought he was by far their best player, along with Jared Bowen, another player that I would absolutely take at Arsenal without a shadow of a doubt. Jared Bowen is a hell of a talent. Even when on the losing side, I'm going to be jealous of whatever club gets him. Fair play to you, Mohammed. Appreciate you dropping in a very level-headed comment there. I really do appreciate it. Amir says, Arteta and Arsenal are fourth with the youngest squad. Respect. Don White says, Tom, now this is my real team. No more mistakes, please. Manu says, I'd put Erdegaard on penalty duties. His precision is much better, I feel. Mogos says, 16 of our 23 goals have been scored by players under 21. Wow, just wow. Siraj, I'm a happy chat too, mate. It's fantastic to see Arsenal scoring. Omar says, good morning, Tom. I am happy after that performance. You and me both, mate. You and me both. Penna says, 2 number 9s combining instinctive goal. Aubameyang should warm the bench. Does Aubameyang even get back into this Arsenal team? Because I'm really struggling to see how he does. Christopher Fung says, we need to play like this away from the Emirates. Harry Evans says, what performance do you think was better today or the North London derby? I think the derby, mate, because, I think the West Ham game tonight was better, because the derby, and the difference with the derby earlier in the season is when we scored, we sat back. We hit Spurs on the counter, and we got them for 2 goals, and we hit them on the counter. You watch that game back, and you watch all 3 goals are on counter-attacks. And we sat back after we scored. The difference was today is we pressed non-stop, we didn't sit back, and there were individually consistently good performances from, I'd say, 99% of the team. The only one I thought was slightly under par, or just, wasn't necessarily a standout, was Granit Xhaka. But even then, I thought he was fine. I think this performance is better than the North London derby performance, and it is such a good kind of springboard for us moving forwards as well. Daniel Schuldenfrei says, by what score are Bayern Munich going to beat us next season? Very good. Very, very good indeed. I'll take that as a positive comment, Daniel. Reese says, what happened to Aubameyang up front with Lacazette just behind? We don't need it, mate. Lacazette is, if he plays like he did today, is absolutely fire. I tell you, it's performances like that I wish we could see week in, week out, because it would convince me to think that a new contract is a positive thing. It would convince me that it's something that I want to see us do. It's a real tough one. It's just such a delicate situation with the striking, and we don't know what's going on with Aubameyang, and until you do, I don't know if you can make a decision on Lacazette's future. Drop a like on the video, guys, if you haven't done so already. Zach says, I'd still leave Lacazette on penalties, in my opinion. I'd still trust him the most out of our starting 11. Moabi says, tonight we were much better than the North London derby. The team showed drive, and it is that drive that we've consistently been able to see impress during this season. I'm looking forward to hopefully see this continuing on in the games to come. Right, that is where we're going to wrap things up. But if you are not done with the Arsenal discussion, head over to the Arsenal Way. Link is in the description. They are live right now. Chris Davison and Bailey Keogh are going to take you through more discussion from the game. Flood that chat box. Get your questions, get your thoughts, get your comments in there. They are live, and if you want to continue the discussion, you can go over there and do so to join Chris and Bailey. Click the link in the description to the Arsenal Way and continue the discussion in the chat box over there. Thank you for tuning into the Gooner Talk. Please do drop a like on the video. I'll be live tomorrow morning on the Arsenal Way at 9:30. I'll be live on this channel around 3 o'clock for more breakdown. There is no 8 a.m. show tomorrow morning, because I'm working from 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So there's no 8 a.m. show, but there will be a breakdown further, probably with a guest or two, around 3 o'clock tomorrow. So make sure that you tune in for that. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you guys, as it always is. And what a performance, what a game, what a lovely evening. Go tune into the Arsenal Way. See you very, very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.